What's it zone?
It's the
It's probably the same as Ferguson. I didn't look on it.
No sewer and water.
It's not the-
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Okay.
You can go watch it on YouTube later.
I will.
I really think if
For
there's one
5 more
person
years,
attending right now, it's a
cleaned it
lot.
up.
You never know.
Might be more
Maybe
valuable.
the economic development just hit a stride.
We won't go viral.
SEMA?
No.
No, it's actually their last name,
Oh, okay.
but I think he's since passed away because it's a relative that I've been in contact with. Then I have 6 acres, which is basically right.
Oh, it's if you're like,
away.
you shut it off during
Got that big
executive session.
embankment, maybe
and
3
At the end of the
acres.
meeting, when everyone's leaving, that.
It's perfectly like you can't see me. It's awesome.
Oh,
We'll put it on.
Oh, it's delayed, I think.
We live?
Feel good.
I'll vote people.
My hair look okay?
Tallahassee on this call.
They're typing it in. Well, and
Alice,
thank
you're
you.
Alice, I'm
Should
sorry,
we look on the
Tallahassee.
community site on the YouTube, look at the thumbnail pictures?
Oh,
that
thank
You can
you.
click on for the meetings. They
I
always
see
take the
you,
thumbnail
yeah.
from the part of the video where we all have like stupidest look on our face, and that's like.
Mr. Chairman, when you're ready.
It's great.
All right. I call the meeting to order at 3:47. Any public comment?
The only thing I want to add to public comment really quick, so we have 2 new full-time board members. So Amanda Karch, who was previously serving as ex officio, is now on as a voting member, filling the vacant seat that we had before. And then Victoria Walsh was at the college. She's filling in for the college's appointee. So
Who
welcome.
did we lose?
Amanda moved from the college position,
Yeah, I know.
vacated that, and then George Stevens. No, that's who Amanda replaced. Who's Bernadette Gavin was the one who was originally appointed, and then vacated the seat. So Amanda will have another reappointment by the legislature in March. Finishing up her next term. So she's a voting member. We're happy you're here.
No. I'm happy to stay.
All right, everybody get a chance to look at the minutes, can make a motion to accept them, please.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moved. Voting session.
Yep.
So the resolution 13.25 for approval of the budget recommendation by the finance committee. Make a motion, accept that,
Make a motion.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Got that?
Mhm.
All right. Second resolution 14.25 require annual self-evaluation forms to be completed by the members. by 2025 annual budget.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Bye.
So moved. All right, Warren,
Thanks.
James, you're up.
Appreciate it. Few things to go over. I'll start with micro enterprise program update. So we should have actually received our final drawdown wire transfer from the state today. I think should have gone to the treasurer's office today. That finalizes $255,000. That's being allocated to all of the remaining businesses from micro. So that completely closes us out, along with the remainder of our program delivery and admin charges. So $300,000 books closed. Which is good. So the next step would be, of course, allocating the checks and triggering a monitoring session by the state, which takes a while. So out of that, we helped 12 businesses, which is great. We've been doing all of the presentations, which you've seen online. You've seen us send emails about. Some are in Positively Green, so that's fun. We bought these, large commemorative checks that people like to hang on the wall. So you can go to Subversive and you can go to the Log Cabin, you can go to Red Star. We're represented, which is great. The finalization of this program also, like the formal closing is indicative of us gearing up for the next round. Thomas is very much spearheading on that. We're gonna go through a pre-application process and then the whole public hearing thing again through the legislature. So hopefully we can get that off the ground this fall or early next year. I think we'll probably go for another full allocation of 300. And we have a pipeline of 40 to 60 businesses already queued up. It took the training courses from the last 2 rounds. So hopefully we can fly through that again.
Question, James.
Yep.
When the monitoring happens, is the board ever involved and participate? So I'm on the youth board and we've
been, some of our members are going with the youth bureau to do some of the monitoring, just to
Mhm.
kind of get a sense. So I didn't know if that was practice.
No,
or
it's
something
typically
like
done
that.
just because we have all the records on hand and they will come in and go over the books and just make sure that we're doing things appropriately. I'll of course present the findings of the monitoring to the board, just so everybody's brought up to speed, but there's not any expectation for the board to have there. The second CDBG program that we have floating right now is the $179,000 grant we approved for Great Willow, which is the new microbrewery restaurant out in the town of Coxsackie in Earlton. So we have all those agreements signed. They're they're in their window of eligibility, so they've been quiet, spending their money, doing everything they need to fulfill the job creation requirements. We're working on getting everything we need to get stuff over to Ed and everything they need to get the check drawn down. So they're in a spending period. Hopefully will happen within the next 2 months, and then they can celebrate a grand opening. So make sure that everybody's aware of that. And once we finalize that, that'll be done and over with, because by the time that we give them the check and we actually write them the check, much like the micros, everything, all the national objectives are met. Job fulfillment, making sure the money's spent on the right things, all the reimbursements, or our risk is very low. So by the time the check is cut, it's really just, monitoring for the rest of the time.
Hey, James, back to micro for a minute. So there's still another check presentation and a ribbon for one or more of the micros. I know that
We have
Stone
more.
Castle.
Yep.
Is there more than just Stone Castle?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
there's going to be, it's Stone, or no,
Storybook House.
Storybook Hollow, yeah. And then there's going to be the gas station, in Carroll,
The liquor store here.
or, yeah, so, but
Yeah,
that,
there's that.
we don't have set up yet.
There's a liquor store in Caro, there's like Hudson Valley Crusaders that she wants to do one, there's Black Bear Lodge, Catskill Bike Supply.
Once those are all,
And I think those are the remaining.
Drawn.
ones,
right, so,
Once they're all drawn down.
yep. So
So
that's coming up on the 18th, and actually everybody should be receiving an invitation of that. I'm just finalizing the invitation. And I actually think there's gonna be quite a few people there
will
because
be.
they have been pushing it out. That it's the ribbon cutting, and of course, we're doing it jointly with the Chamber. of
So it's
Commerce.
one event and you're giving
Yeah,
recognized.
Yeah.
it's a ribbon
Yeah,
cutting,
and
it's a
it's
check
the chambers,
presentation, it's grand
yep.
opening, it's
Yeah.
ideal for when we want to do this, that's like how we want that to happen.
yes,
Yeah.
they literally sent it out postcards and everybody's like mailbox. So I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but
I'll need you at the.
That would be great.
Comedy Fest though, so.
Yeah.
Where-
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry.
at the old stone castle where their place Storybook Hollow there.
That's why you're,
Well,
that's why you
that's
can't
at-
be there.
That's at Fall Comedy Fest, is that used to, so.
Okay.
What is it now?
It's
It's the brewery.
it's
Stone
it's
Castle?
still-
Yeah.
Yeah, Storybook Hollow.
Like Stone Castle and Carroll.
Yeah,
Yes,
I thought it was like a gift.
it's like
Yes,
a
yes,
fantasy store, but he's a multi-grant to expand into a microbrewery, so we got a lot of the equipment for him.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's gonna park the cars?
I don't know.
145?
On 145.
Yeah.
I'm not the zone.
There's no credit.
Nobody
That
wants
was
their car.
the only whole place
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah, I'd only be
Although I
worried
think
about
they
where I'm
own a
putting the
lot
cash.
across the street that didn't have it.
Went
Yeah.
back further though, did they?
Technicalities, Fran.
Yeah.
It used to be a bar, and
Yes, well-
10 cars in there.
Listen, if they're giving away beer, people find places to
Yeah.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So those are all good, both those CDBG programs. We are beginning the reporting period for our annual HUD report for the performance assessment. It just goes over all of our HUD loans that we put out, the job creation components. We haven't done anything in the past few years with them, so it'll be very simple. That'll be finished up hopefully in the next 6 weeks. Also, with the passing of the budget, we're on track to submit everything we need to for the ABO for next fiscal year. Marketing update, Terry, you want to talk about a few things?
Sure. Well, everybody got PG for the month, and if you notice in PG, there's quite a bit going on and enjoying, especially as it has to do with multi-grant awards. We recently did Stirred Water Herbs, which is another really unique business in the county, and I would recommend everybody to go out and visit her shop that she has. Very interesting woman and her family, and she's got 9 children, by the way, that they homeschooled, and she's very impressive. And then you'll see that also Amanda's, her office is opened up here on Main Street now. So we all went down there for a joint ribbon cutting with the chamber also. That was really cool. And we love the fact that you're on this side of the river.
We've been getting a lot of walk-ins. We've been getting referrals. It's been
Yeah,
great. So
yeah, so, Stewart's finally, as we all know, opened up, that was great, good turnout there. Let me see, also, you will see the completion of a series of build success, I just have one set of them on the table, you guys can pass them around. We just finished Catskills, and, that highlights all the individual towns, what they have to offer, what the county can kind of contribute to, if you're thinking of coming and opening up business, and one of those are them right in front of you. You can pass them around. Yeah, thank you. Yep. We'll be probably focusing on one of the mountain towns next. But they're really good. We support them with, with marketing along with the, all of our other stuff that we do. And then we are working jointly with, or very closely with the chamber, or rather with the college. For their trade certification program and trying to draw up enhancement and encouragement from the students over in high school and get to know about it. So we're trying to be creative with our advertising so that it catches their eye, not necessarily our eye, So we met with Maureen, she was over here, so we've been, working with her closely too, and we've always been supportive. We support that socially, with all of our social marketing. Also, we have a whole page dedicated to the trade, the trade industry over at the college. And let me see, we're also working on a couple different items. One is a quiz, and it's gonna get to know, do you know Greene County? And then it kind of funnels you down and starts asking you all these questions, not a lot. There's like 4 questions and they go on to the next, the next category and stuff. But it's really cool. And then it will, after you funnel down and answer all the questions, all of a sudden it'll be like, well, this is how well you know Greene County, and maybe where you'd like to start a business or live, and it will pop up a town, based on your answers. So at that point too, we're also able to capture the people who are thinking about maybe moving to the county or opening a business here in the county. And then we're going to reach out to them personally and offer them our concierge services. And then we're doing the same thing with, so we got the ready to start a business, and we pretty much are doing that too. And that's a survey, and it asks like what town, not as intense as the quiz and stuff, but kind of asks, what town would you be interested in possibly, starting a business? What type of business, would you be interested in starting? Do you have any experience in owning a business or starting a business? But we're here to help you. Please fill out, give us your information.
So it's like a polling thing? Are you keeping track of like?
Yeah, okay, then it gets all filed into, we use this platform called Pipe Drive. And we have all their contact information, and we can create reports from there, and then we can reach out to them and say hello and say,
Great.
Greene County is fantastic.
Yeah, I think the major idea of that too is drilling down into their preparedness to start a business. We ask for a business plan and try to gauge where they are with business plan. And depending on where they are, it spits them out into this area where you answer questions and you upload documents, and it's drafted and mimics what our current loan and grant applications are right now, because that's essentially asking you, the schedule of deliverables is a business plan. So in order for them to fill all that out, they're kind of pre-qualified and have already filled out the application for the programs that we have. So we're trying to expedite that.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's really helpful because we do get a lot of phone calls in here and people have no idea about, starting a business, what they're doing. And, of course, I've said this in the past, the first thing they ask for is, what grants do you have? Like, unfortunately, but anyways, it, at least it saves up a lot of our time within the office of inviting them in and sitting down with them just to find out that they're really not prepared for this and they're not ready for our programs, what we have offered. And then it also, light bulb goes on inside of them. They're like, oh, a business plan? Oh, weird. And then we also recommend them to go, other places that, the SBA and stuff that can also help. So it is a good way of communicating. And what else do we have? Oh, so when I was talking about earlier, we're working with the college and everything. Recently, we had Mark Gustafson, who is with Cathode Ray Media, go over and take some B-roll footage of the tiny houses that now the construction department is building over there.
That's right.
And have been very, very successful. So we're getting, so we're going to get over there and we're going to interview some of the students that are, while this process is all taking place, but we're able to get in the door at the very beginning of it, just like a week and a half ago, he was over.
Yes, they're just beginning.
Yeah. that will be that'll be great. We're looking forward to that. We'll be able
Nice.
to, take the footage, we'll be able to promote it, we'll do videos, we'll do reels with it. And then we'll interview the students, and what better way to, get the interest of
Mhm.
the high school, our local high school students. And
There are 2 completed tiny homes outside,
Mhm.
which we can let you in if you wanted to see a complete.
okay, he hasn't even gotten in there. He
Oh,
said the
okay,
gentleman that
good.
worked with, he was over on a Saturday and he said security was
To
great,
let him
Mike
in,
or
okay,
something or
good,
whatever.
yeah.
So, but we thought maybe they might want to name one of the tiny houses Greene County's tiny house,
That'd be
or some
wonderful.
type of marketing to go along with one of the
They
tiny
get
houses.
auctioned at the end of the
Yes,
year,
right,
and the
and-
money goes
Yeah,
back
it's
into the
Great
program.
That's an
idea.
awesome program.
So,
Yeah, it was actually oversubscribed this semester. Yeah, we have
was it?
yeah, we have a
Well,
waiting list now for the.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's really been wonderful this
Yeah.
The
year.
ones they have out there are the spec houses and they build them.
Yeah.
People that.
What's fun is we in the community in the college get to be customers. So the students will sit with us and ask what we would want
Oh,
in the
cool.
home.
Do a
And
whole consultation.
so they do the consultation, and anyone here, if you wanted to do that, they would be open to it. And then the students pick the design they want to work on, and then they relate with you as the customer. And yeah, it's
great.
really excellent.
Cool.
They do a great job.
They look
really.
really nice.
That's excellent, yeah. And the fact that you have the students' interest is a
Yeah.
big thing,
Yeah.
and that they're,
Mhm.
that you have a waiting list, that's great.
We actually did over enroll the class. We predict what melt we will get, how many might leave the program. Right now, the class is still full, so
Good.
it's really, really encouraging. Yeah.
Great. Okay. And I think, summarize, we're working on, Greene County's, website, the county's website, so over this year, between this year and 2025, you'll be seeing, revamping of Greene County's website in general, but
It was built on a desktop platform and the majority of people use it now is
mobile,
is mobile, so it's
Oh.
being
it needs to be
redone.
upgraded, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Terry. As far as county work goes, with what we've been involved with, in PG, you see an article about the upcoming New York Forward and DRI deadlines. We offer technical assistance and push out all the information, the workshop dates to all the communities and the supervisors. And if anybody needs technical assistance where they can sit down with us and go over what we know about the program, what they're planning on doing, offer expertise and advice, then we do that. So we've mostly been working with the town of Caro for the New York Forward application, and been heavily involved with giving technical assistance to the Village of Catskills DRI application. So they're going forward with $10 million in an ask. And we've debriefed with ESD on all of their previous applications, so we're just making sure they're bringing all of those debriefed ideas and recommendations to their application. And it seems very strong and competitive this round. So that's due on the 16th of October, usually announced in December. So hopefully it's Catskill or Carroll or the county's year again for one of the communities. If you'll remember, last year we submitted an EPA coalition assessment for brownfields looking across both counties. So in June, you'll know we were awarded. We've done all the documents and everything, submitted back to EPA. Greene County is the lead applicant, so we're very much driving the ship on it. That's great. And everything's in EPA's hands, so we're waiting for them just to give us some contracts back. Next, we're gonna procure a consultant, and then we'll do community outreach. So we'd love to have any engagement that we have with that. I believe that we'll have to build an advisory board that kind of corrals the ship throughout both communities, led by the consultant, and we end up with a list of properties that can be eyed for future development. So it'll be really nice. That's great. I had presented this at a workforce development board meeting. And it was kind of off the heels of a development opportunity. I've been working with a commercial broker, and I thought it would be a really good idea for us to at least look into the viability of conducting a countywide workforce assessment profile that will describe the characteristics of the existing workforce, the proximity to other education houses, what we can offer when it comes to developers, and that will help guide. There's a lot of ambiguity with, okay, we want to go after this development, where's the workforce going to come in? So then we have something on paper that shows here's the workforce, here's opportunities to build additional programming, and include that as part of a pitch deck when you bring developers in. We look across the state, you'll see larger developments taking place really towards central New York. that's the biggest call right now is what kind of workforce do you have? Where are they gonna live? What skill sets do they have? What do we need to invest in order to qualify them? So I want to start having more engaging conversations with the workforce board and Amanda's team to figure out what funding agency can we look after that can do a comprehensive workforce for both counties. It's one workforce. Pool.
There's some state reports, obviously, and there's some broader regional. So I've kind of started making note of the organizations that have done that work to reach out to them
Yeah.
to see who they use. You know, NIATEP obviously does a state of the workforce state report every year, so we've got connections there. We can definitely reach out and see where they were getting some of their data kind of
Mhm.
filtered to. But we're 100% on board because I think it's going to be, you know, the economic and workforce development connection makes so much sense. And that helps us with our work too, to help you. So I'm starting to kind of jot down some ideas, but
Yeah.
we're on board for this. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Amanda, a question. Several years ago, our EDCs were really hot on workforce. And they came up with a whole new workforce push, and at one point they were calling it, they were gonna appoint a workforce czar. I kind of backed away at that point.
Okay.
And I believe where they were headed was exactly what you and James are talking about, but I
Yeah.
thought they were making funds available for some of those workforce assessments, especially if it was two county. So there might be worth looking into, could for one of the CFAs and their workforce push, are there funds available? Because that would really
Mhm.
help
That would
us.
help.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I'm sure if we connect with Mike over
Yeah.
in Columbia, but also, you know, Katie Drake, the board director for a number of years, I'm still in contact with her. She runs the
Yeah.
youth board. So she might have some frame of reference for what you're talking about too. So
The Capital Region ESD does do workforce assessments each year. They updated the most recent one had a focus on hospital and medical workers. And there's like a dire critical shortage of those in the region.
yeah,
The only thing is that it's a region wide. It's looking at the same employers and employees in Warren, Washington counties. And while there are friends and there are neighbors, it's not necessarily reflective of the workforce
yeah,
in this area. So I think it would make sense because we have a different workforce area.
Yeah.
To focus on our pool and
Yeah.
even take it to a micro level.
Yep.
But there's been a lot of push towards generating more reports, more information on your specific workforce areas by the EDC, by ESD.
and
sure that's
CED
fine.
did one, but it, like you said, it was a broader regional.
Between you and Amanda and Terry and Mark, and then our economic development consultant, Des Moines. We have a lot of the data, and you could do a very quick down and dirty.
Yeah.
First look at it, and then decide whether you wanna get a consultant, do something bigger, apply for a fund from the state. That's always an excellent idea to focus on.
But we can maybe set up a meeting and kind
Yeah.
of dialing in, because this would be a great, I think, way to launch
You
it,
could-
and, you know, beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Have some of this data on
You can-
hand.
Or you can just, have it as a project from Q4 to Q1 of next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been working heavily with the Catskill Comedy Festival. Hopefully you've seen posters for it everywhere you go. It's taking place October 18th through the 20th. It's led by from there, a Village of Athens mayor and another gentleman by the name of Robbie Chaffetz, who has a long, extensive career in film and television production, has great contacts to bring A-list comedic talent to Catskill for a 3-day weekend that's going to be taking place over multiple venues. The whole 3 days we take over the Village of Catskill with bringing in events. We've been working closely with organizers from the tourism perspective and helping them promote it. And the Buy in Green, Invest in Green team has been working with them because a staple and a pillar of this program for them is to engage the businesses in downtown Catskill so that we can get the foot traffic to come in and buy stuff, much like we do with cruise lines. So we work together to take our database of businesses that we have subscribed to Buy in Green and putting it in a moldable document that they can then use to put on their programs and their maps. So that's actually being developed now because of that database. They've been able to put businesses on there that are offering discounts. So highly encourage you to take part of that. The headliner is Bobcat Goldthwait. Does that mean anything to anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's
I thought you died.
No, that was Sam Kinnison.
Oh, that's right, yeah, same
The
thing.
18th, right, is the
They're kinda
first
similar.
night,
Well,
18th
he's good,
to
though.
the
Yeah.
20th.
18th to the
fine.
20th. The headliner is on
18th, 20th of what?
October. The headliner is on the Saturday. and that's gonna take place at the Book House. So that'll be fun. I'm working, I'm volunteering for it. I'll be working in the office, which is actually the Workforce Center in Catskill. So stop in and say hi.
You're not
Yep.
working alone.
I'm not working alone, Terry. I wrote Terry and help me.
Well, I'll be there Friday night checking
Okay.
in, yeah.
And then the next item, which is the final piece of my report, is statutory partnership opportunity with the Catskill Mountain Foundation. So the Catskill Mountain Foundation owns obviously a lot of property on the mountaintop. One of them is the old Sugar Maples complex. And they have proposed a really high level project, about 10 to 20 million, to redevelop and expand the complex to be one of the leading competitors of institution for fine art, sculpture that can be competitive on a nationwide basis. They've identified an EPA program for a climate change community grant that will require either two nonprofits, one acting as a primary and one acting as a statutory partner, to apply. And they approached both the IDA and the EDC to be that statutory partner. And so, of course, we want to be able to help out any organization that comes to us, especially on a project at this level. So it's a project that's got a lot of information behind it, the capacity of the foundation. So far, everything that we know, the town is generally in support of the project. And there's an incredible amount of detail they've already put out. But in order to apply for that program, they need the statutory partnership. So there is a document included in your staff here that goes over what the particular responsibilities would be of the EDC. The majority of it, much like we're doing with municipalities and businesses, it's largely technical assistance, it's community outreach, providing technical expertise, leveraging our resources and partnerships. I would encourage the corporation board to go over these responsibilities and see if these are something that we think we could provide. There is no monetary contribution. It's just staff work to make these connections, serve an advisory board, provide technical expertise. The program management coordination, the ensuring accountability and reporting components are really, I think, outside of our capacity to be the primary in any of those. They have drafted a partnership agreement where they have outlined that they are the ones that are responsible for doing the accounting, managing the grant, doing the paperwork, doing all the drawdowns. We're there for assistance in community outreach. However, our name is still on the grant. We're still a statutory partner. There's, that level of involvement that's just inherent with being in this position, but, we can kind of be malleable with this and say, we know that we can do this stuff, and we don't want to be documented as being responsible for X, Y, and Z. So I'm not necessarily asking for a final decision on this today. Their application is due mid-November. I would really want, if this is something that we want to move forward with, it would need to be a resolution passed by the corporation in order to move forward, which means that we would meet in November and pass it. But if there's any indication that we don't want to do this, I would want to tell them earlier so they can hunt another organization to do it.
I don't know if I can. I do the audit.
Oh, so you would have to recuse.
Yeah, I probably would too.
Okay.
I gotta check on that.
Can you just note that?
I want to add something, because the board members may not know about Catskill Mountain Foundation, all of the things they're in, all the properties they own. They've owned the Sugar Maples for a long time, and there used to be a huge resort here. They tore that old building down. They have renovated several of the buildings, so it's already up and operational. It's basically adding to and enhancing what's there, but they already do have a very well attended program that they want to invigorate and bring additional business to, and this would be a sizable grant. It really would bring a lot more business to the county and to the mountain town.
So over the next month, I mean, both of you are on record for recusing themselves as far as thinking about this for the next month. And
Well, Alan, are you officially refusing or you're?
I guess I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, me too, but
okay.
Both.
Yeah, it's a
pretty
question I
sure.
gotta go back and ask, yeah.
Okay.
I can
So
definitely help, but I can't. Be voting.
yeah, of course. I mean, abstaining from just even any discussion that would end up in a resolution is probably the best move. But again, I would not ask for a decision today, but any indication I can shoot some emails out over the next few weeks and just get a general
Yeah.
consensus and see whether or not we'll even meet in November to make the decision.
This is a lot of what you do anyway, it
Yeah,
looks
well,
like,
this is-
right? So.
yeah.
But there would be the responsibility of having the name on the grant.
It's formalized, we offer
Yeah.
these services for municipalities and businesses
Yeah.
already. It's
I
not
don't
a-
even know where the independence comes in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, I would have to look at the documents and send it to my lawyers in my firm there to see if it's an independence issue.
in
Because I
terms
want to
of-
be on board. I mean,
Yeah. In terms of like which partner would be independently responsible for.
just because I did the audit and signed the audit report.
Oh, your own.
I audit the casting.
I mean, I can send you the NOPA, which is the Notice of Funding Opportunity that's published by the EPA for this.
And then line it up with the conflict of interest provisions
Yeah.
that are in the bylaw that
Yeah.
requires.
Yeah.
Take a look at that.
Okay, that's all I have. Any questions?
So board member discussion, I mean, is there any movement on the kind of things that have been open, like the Phoenicia Diner, the
Yeah.
hotel?
Region Diners is like at the top of my whiteboard for a long time. We've been working with Brian to present a lot of the properties. I don't know, we work closely with Mark.
Yeah, I think we're circling back to the Carroll spot there, but
Yeah.
You know.
Is that the
the garage,
cool?
so
That was the first spot.
Where's that?
right by Hannaford. The
Oh, the corner?
dilapidated garage
Corner,
there,
yeah.
that would be the most ideal spot, but he's got
Yeah,
to,
we've
It's got a
shown
lot of
other
issues
places.
there.
it needs the most work,
Doesn't it have like EPA stuff going there? Because we used to.
I'm sure.
Oh, that
Once
was
we,
yeah,
once we-
They all tend to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
kinda.
once we start poking around.
What happens up by Van Winkle? Up here. What, the right direction? By the liquor store they just put up there, right? That lot.
In Palomville?
No, right in Catskill, right by the bridge.
Yeah, that's,
Is that Mike Farrell's? pizza?
Yeah,
I know what you're
that's got
talking
EPA shit on. it. I
yeah,
think they got rid of
that's
that.
not a viable location for anybody, I don't think.
Oh, really?
about. You did go look at that at one point, I think, James.
Well, that was in the original slide deck of what it is. We've looked at other places that have come up online, even an existing diner with a few income opportunities. It's just you need a traffic count. So 23, it's
No,
somewhere on 23 was the
I'll
that
sell
was in
them
the
there.
target area. And we had a great property there and that got
Yeah.
pulled out.
Like right out from under us.
There may be another opportunity, but I'm not sure how viable it is yet. Depends on its timing. But long story short, I mean, I have opportunities that come up. I call Brian, I get in front of him. I just brought another opportunity to him recently. There are things that are coming up. We're maintaining contact. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger and getting a good call on it. But we've brought him to two separate offers. One accepted. So we're still working on that.
Is he looking for vacant property or does he want something with a building already on site?
Preferably with a building that he can put a diner car in front of.
And the view.
Would he consider
so
Greenville?
he's not looking for like a turnkey restaurant.
No. He's
Well,
gonna put one of those.
Modena.
Yeah,
in
that's what I'm just
Greenbelt
thinking.
bought that.
Oh, okay, so that's-
Absolutely, that's great, yeah.
That's Route 32 traffic.
But he wants a view.
Yeah, because he was actually considering in Columbia County, which is right by the entrance to the college there,
Oh,
but
that little, yeah.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, those- you
that's
sell
a
that, you're off the board.
opportunity,
Yeah.
For some reason, that place has never taken
Yeah,
off.
not that I would
Bring it to that. This side.
I had more explanation to go along with it, but I'll refrain from
Yeah.
microphone.
And what about the hotel
Which one?
by Stewart's?
So the IDA, and the developer went back before the town of Catskill Planning Board with a minor revision to the site plan, kind of on the facade and the design of the building. There is an application pending for the sewer hookup with the DEC. That's, I believe, the remaining permit that's necessary for then that deal to be finally closed and inked. In preparation for that is the infrastructure necessary for the hotel to open and operate. So Gateway Drive is in and it's already been dedicated to the county, so the county owns the road and will maintain the road. We have a contract with Central Hudson for the natural gas, so the natural gas line is already installed underneath the thruway between 21 East and it pops up by the old stores. Central Hudson had to revise the permit with the DOT for the curb cuts on where the sewer line would go. They have that in hand, so they're ready to start moving again with the installation of the natural gas. So the natural gas will be ready and available and put in plenty of time for when the hotel needs to be enclosed. There's a certain time in the construction process where the natural gas needs to be able to hook up to it. And while we're just in that area talking about exit 21 west, or I'm sorry, east. We're about 3 weeks away from having all the contracts signed and all of the bid bonds and insurances for the 4 primes that have been awarded the contract to renovate the old Stewards for the new visitor center. So hopefully before November 1st, look for a notice to proceed, and then the GC will take control of the site, and they'll be under construction. So that's exciting.
Good.
And
How far is the gas gonna run? Just the hotel, or it'll eventually?
no, it's gonna
continue?
go, the gas line is down in Jefferson Heights.
Mhm.
The IDA many years ago, when Central Hudson was doing work and the right of way was being impacted and there was other utilities going in, the IDA said, look, it's cheaper to put natural gas in there now. We know sometime in the future. So they paid many years ago to have natural gas come up to where the old gas station car wash was that burned, or was it the
Exit 21.
the transmission device?
Yeah, exit 21.
So that's about where it is.
Mhm.
So now the county with ARPA funds has contracted with Central Hudson to extend it from there
Mhm.
all the way up to exit 21 west
Mhm.
under the thruway.
Mhm.
And then it's gonna be bored back under from the old Stewards to where the restaurant and hotel side of Gateway Drive is, and then they'll go up that side.
Got it.
The Cahotate is the environmental field station that we lease to the college to operate. We got a small Hinchy sand grant. The county put in quite a bit of money. That's all been renovated. It's all been updated and modernized. All electric powered bathrooms, Wi-Fi. Students have already been using it.
Oh, that's great.
We'll be doing a ribbon cutting soon. We're just at substantial completion, and they're buttoning up a couple items, and then we'll have a ribbon cutting for the college and the board. And while we're on capital projects, the Justice Center is now finally fully engaged with footers and concrete walls, and now that's progressing. Small site,
A lot of problems.
everything imaginable in a construction job is all on that little tiny property. It's moving along, it's going actually going pretty well.
And no action on Rite Aid or condo, right?
No, condo got sold. That's gonna be a garage. But what was?
And a laundromat.
Was
There's a
that?
laundromat in the front.
Yeah. And I tried, and I was on the phone with that developer too. I'm like, see what, did you guys actually sign the contracts? I might have, so it was done.
Is it the same car wash that's moving?
No, just put in another one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same owners.
Yeah, it's gonna be just as busy.
Then. what was
Hopefully
it?
better than what
Rite
they
Aid?
have there.
I think the Rite Aid that's still under contract,
Yeah.
they're still getting rental payments.
I email Trader Joe's once a quarter. So
I called it.
There's vehicles there.
Yeah.
There's action there.
I think it's done as of this month.
I called the retail broker for Chipotle once a quarter.
Trader Joe's, you can email Trader Joe's on their website for potential location. I send them a listing. I'm like, this is perfect for you guys. It's a really nice building. The parking lot's awful, just like all your other locations. It's the perfect place. They'd make a fortune if they.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
If they were to do franchises, I'd quit my job and go open one.
Well, I was just gonna ask
But
you
they don't
about that, because
franchise.
there's a Trader Joe's in Albany.
Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah.
So if it
I can
was
vouch for the
franchised
car
or-
park.
or
They
whoever
don't
the
franchise.
manager was,
They don't
we could all
franchise.
go up there and put the manager in the car at 5 o'clock and driving down here.
I'd be tempted because I think they would do phenomenally well. They pull everybody from Kingston, Woodstock.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
South,
all
Mountain
over.
Top. I think that
Very
they would
true.
absolutely kill it up there. Like I
Yeah.
said, if
Do you ever get a
they,
response to your
if they
emails?
if they did franchise, I would quit my job and.
Like most things,
Sorry.
when we've been trying to market that commercial pad next to.
Right.
No, the
help.
mic is still live, right?
What's that?
The mic is still.
It's fine.
They
They would be, they would.
I think Don just tapped in.
Go.
I've been trying to drive that.
Brandon, every bag of groceries.
Hey,
That commercial lot.
It works.
Been trying to drive a full service restaurant there, like a Longhorn or a Texas Roadhouse, and it's next to a 95-room Hilton. It's next to one of the busiest Stewart's in.
The
in
busiest.
The busiest Stewart's in the
The
region.
busiest.
And-
Number one.
It's the main exit for all the second homeowners. All they do is go up rooftops. They're not taking in any of that other shit into account. It's all rooftop. So
Is there gonna be any kind of a convention or meeting space at the hotel?
Just,
it's
just a small meeting room.
we're getting there. I can, if you want to CC me on those Trader Joe emails, now I can start.
Everybody on the boards are, we're in the website, suggest a location.
Squeaky wheel, so,
I'm sending them the thing. I wish I could find somebody I knew who like worked in the
Was it Trader
corporate.
Joe's, was it Saratoga trying to get?
No, Clifton Park has one now too, so there's
Oh,
one in Albany and
They
Clifton
get,
Park,
they get everything.
both making
But right,
money.
This is
somebody did a whole marketing push to try to get.
Both making money.
Trader Joe's to show.
Well, the owners had it, but Walgreens was doing a rent
Where's the closest?
for
one?
like a year after
For like
they.
stock.
What do they want?
No, it's not
Try to
even
get
that.
in.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know, I was trying to get Aldi's to go in there too, but
How much they looking for?
12,000 a month for rent.
Everybody check their LinkedIn and see if they know anybody who works at Trader Joe's somewhere distant.
Liam Roberts works at Trader
Make a motion
Joe's.
to adjourn, so 26?
Motion, what time? 4:26?
Motion?
Anyone?
Anyone?
Second.
Motion?
Yeah.
I'll say.
Second. Alan, fourth.
Aye. Yes.
Adjourned.
Greenville needs a diner desperately.
Is it on the trailer already? or-
I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and
What's the,
I live in
and if you
Albany.
think about that
so I'm right
location
there.
with the drive-in,
what's that?
drive-in is right across.
It's
the
right
street.
across the street.
That would be a great spot to put a diner, because they'd be interested in coordinating on different projects with him. You could do like